A very good morning to you. Welcome to the Friday edition of the show. It's the last one for the week, and it promises to be exciting as always. I'm Yemi Adebayo.
It's great to have you join us again. I am Tayo Salam. All right, this is what the show looks like. Obviously, we're going to start with the second edition of the channel's Under 17 Track and Field Classics. After 2 days of intense competition, Federal Government College Ijaniki emerged overall winners with 3 gold, 3 silver medals.
Congratulations to Federal Government College Ijaniki. It was a good performance, not just from them, but a host of other schools. And congratulations to all the participants as well. They just showed us that there's hope for Nigeria in athletics.
Absolutely.
All right. So let's travel to Egypt as fast as we can on the show this morning and talk about this one. The Under-23 Eagles, that's the Olympic Eagles. You can still call them the dream team if you want to.
Dream.
They're up against South Africa today. They'll be locking arms. What is at stake is a place in the semi-finals of the CAF Under-23 African Cup of Nations. The good part of it is for both teams, their destiny still in their own hands.
Absolutely. For the Olympic Eagles, all they have to do is win that game and advance into the last 4 of the Under-23 AFCON, which is a step closer to qualifying for the Tokyo 2020 Olympics.
All right.
We'll talk more about that in a moment. And last but not the least is we're going to London, the O2 Arena to be precise, where Roger Federer was in vintage form against Novak Djokovic yesterday in their final group match at the ATP World Tour Finals. Federer was able to down and absolutely dismissed Novak Djokovic to advance into the semifinals of the ATP World Tour Finals.
All right, so that's it. A lot to talk about in tennis, but that's not where we start the show this morning. We have to start with the biggest under-17 athletics competition in Nigeria. Talking about the Channels Track and Field Classic. Everything came to an end yesterday at the Teslim Balogun Stadium, but there's a lot to talk about. I hope time will permit us to touch base with everything we want to talk about this morning. We'll start with the girl we've been talking about. She came, retained her title in dramatic style.
She came, she saw,
she conquered.
And conquered, absolutely. We're talking about no other than Alimat Alonle. I mean, a lot has been said about this girl in the last couple of years. Last time out, the first edition, she was absolutely remarkable, stunning in winning the 100 and 200 meters. So with that around, come the second edition, is she going to be able to do it again? And she answered us emphatically, and we're seeing the starting, the starters for the 100 meters girls final. Let's see how it all panned out in that final. We'll come back to take our reactions.
Coming from WJU, that's it. She's on lane number 3 in the college, and off we go. She's got a slow start, but trust her to push on, and that's what she's doing. Good fight there coming from Ofor Fate and Ojo Joy. Hey, but Alowole Alimot, I mean, as we said, she's going to breeze through the finish line. Brilliant run from Alowole Alimot, Ejembi Victoria with second, and Ojo Joy taking the bronze medal. And just like Damilo just said, she's just done this in 12.88 seconds. Good prediction, Dami.
Absolutely, Cody. Maybe I should start making some predictions. I think I was just a little lucky with this one.
That's too early.
Alowole Alimot had a really wonderful race for the 200 meters, and you can see that even though she had a poor start, she was striding away, and by half of the race, no one was anywhere close to her. 12.88, a really good run.
There you go there. Alimat Alowole was another emphatic victory for us. Very similar to last year, Yemi, the gap. I still took a mental note of it. She absolutely destroyed the field with her long strides and everything. Very talented athlete. It's
reminiscent of Usain Bolt. That the strides. Just looks as
long
if,
legs.
It looks like as if the legs, the one controlling the brain, pushing the body forward. But I mean, decent performance, and I like the consistency. And I hope that she continues like this. Future holds a lot for her.
Absolutely, future definitely bright for Alimat Alowole. Also, Nokonakman caught up with her after victorious race.
Alimot, last year you won 100 meters and 200 meters. You have done it again this year. Do you want to tell me what is making you a champion?
Number one, just let me say God, because without God I'm nothing. And number two, and it was my coach that she had been training me very well, and the training had been good. If not for training, I can't do all this. So it's the training, work hard.
And your school, what is it that your school is doing that makes you people from Tindip College very good?
We do train, and anytime we have any competition like our school, we do inter-sport every 2 years. So doing the inter-sport, in our school, they call them officials. So all those officials, like when I was in GSS2, doing my inter-sport, that is when my coach came to the inter-sport. Then when I entered GSS3, then started training me. Then from there, just let me say, doing the entire sport, that is when they will know who can run very well and who can do it.
Yes, there you go. That's Alimat Alonle of the Tindip College sprint double champion. She did it last year. She's done it again this year. And she's mentioned the fact that her school, they're into the inter-house sports a lot, and that's where they get to discover talents like her.
Yeah, and to be fair to some of the traditional schools in Lagos, inter-house sports is big.
They don't joke with it.
They don't joke with it. Yeah. It's big, and so maybe a little bit of preparation going on there. And it must be said, she dusted a field that had a lot of potentials as well. We talk about Ejembi, Victoria.
Yeah.
We've seen a lot of athletes doing long jump, doing a couple of other events.
Sports,
and it was a very good field. And for her to dominate like that, it just shows the potential she has.
Exactly, and it's so tough retaining your titles. We're going to see that in the boys category now. I mean, the boys category, that's where we're going next, the 100 meters final for boys. Yemi, the defending champion, okay, that's the standout guy of the competition, Laolu Olatunde.
He goes into our Guinness Book of Records. No, not Guinness. Channel's Book of Records.
Okay.
Because he's the most decorated athlete
in one event. Let's see the 100 meters final. We'll come back for our thoughts and his reaction.
A fierce start from all of the athletes, but trust him, Olaolu is going miles away from the boys. Who is on the second guy is who now? Mohamed Kabiru. I did say it. Mohamed Kabiru will give a fight, but it's Olaolu Olatunde who makes it. And look at the time, sub 11, 10.93. That's some good timing.
Amazing time from him. I said it at the beginning of the race that I knew or I suspected he was going to win it. The only question was whether he was going to do a sub 11, and he did exactly that. 10.93 out of the blocks in a flash, and the moment he did that, he was unstoppable. No one could catch him. What a wonderful race we have seen in the boys 100 meters final.
Wonderful race indeed. 10.93. Wow. That is very, very decent for high school students.
I mean, what else can I say? I was impressed from the first day. I was impressed with the way he explained his routine, the way he understands the scheduling. Scheduling, that is a big problem, even at senior level. The way he understands this, the things that he said, and how, I remember you saying the guy now looks the part.
He looks the part.
Like a proper champ.
Yeah.
He's fluent.
Physically
everything.
as well, too, looks the part. He's still developing because he's still very young.
For the camera, too.
Yeah, good advantage.
That's good advantage. All right, let's listen to the young chap, Olatunde, speaking about, of course, he's obviously very happy, most decorated athlete at the Channels track and field, explaining how he was able to do all this and how happy he is that he achieved the amazing feat.
To be honest, the feeling has been just overwhelming because I came here and I set new personal records in both my 100 and 200 meters, and I was able to win the long jump, and I'm just really grateful. I'm really happy, to be honest. For this, I would say training, constant training, the Lord, my coaches, my mom, the school, Lagos State, everybody, to be honest. They just keep on pushing us. And to be honest, I'm very happy for Channels for giving us this competition to showcase our talents. Earlier this year, I went to go and represent Nigeria at the Under-18, Under-20 championships. So what I think you should be expecting from me is to go farther than that. Go from Africa, representing Nigeria in the African Games, the African Championships Under-18, Under-20, to go and represent Nigeria internationally, and also I want to qualify to represent Lagos at the national festivals, and I want to just keep on breaking my personal best and going farther and farther and getting faster.
All right, the young guy already knows where he wants to be, and that's very good. Already looking ahead, future is bright, and it's always good when you have young lads who know what they want in life.
Yep.
And already making sacrifices, taking efforts, painstaking efforts to ensure that they get there. I mean, look at the roadmap already. And so for us here now, we start looking at those events and be watching out. Maybe
Watching out for him.
Maybe we'll see his name. And, you know, very nice lad. Four medals. Well, we'll see if he's going to be able to come back next year.
It's incredible. How do you do that? I mean, in one single event, you win gold,
2 days.
100 and 200. You win gold, long jump as well. Then you're part of the team that won bronze in the 4. Bronze.
That's huge.
In the 4x100. So that definitely an athlete to watch out for. He's talked about going faster as well to 10.93 in the final. That's very, very good. I mean, I posted that yesterday on social media, and the reaction I got was, that is real good time for high school students. And it's interesting to know that he's starting to work with some, really good coaches. I mentioned Yusuf Ali and a few others. So,
and those guys have a high for talent. They know how to spot, so they've seen the potential in this young man.
Already. And if you look at the world-class athletes that we have seen in the past, Usain Bolt readily comes to mind. Secondary school championships and several others like that. So
even Yohan Blake, maybe unfortunately because of his injuries and all that, but at that level, you see that potential, and you put in a couple of years into them.
All right then. Take a bow wherever you are. Laulu Olatunde from Temple Secondary School won 3 medals, 3 gold medals, and a bronze medal, the most decorated at the second edition of the Channels Under 17 Track and Field Class 6. Let's go from the track events now. Let's go and see what went down in the field events. Let's talk about high jump next. High jump, when was the last time Nigeria produced a fantastic high jumper now?
You struggle. You struggle to name somebody. You struggle to name somebody. I think we've forgotten about the field. We concentrate a lot more on the tracks. And that's why I'm happy I'm seeing young lads take into it, showing interest.
Exactly, showing interest, because that's the fundamental thing right there. Is the interest first of all, then you go on and what we're seeing now. Pictures are from the high jump final, and that's Alaire Peterside. Doing incredible things in this particular final. She ended up winning gold in the high jump events, and interestingly, she's one of those girls that you have to definitely watch out for, because she said she came to these events, not believing she could do it, but she went on to achieve. And
she listened to some pep talk from her coaches and those who told her, look, you're built for this event. Why not try it? And I remember also Konakman telling us, even before he came on set, to say just one jump and it was all over. Nobody came close. And she was up against herself. She wanted to try a higher
higher jump.
Higher jump, and she did her best, even though it didn't come off the way she wanted it to. But we just look at the strides, look at the technique.
There you go.
And awesome. And you could hear from the background, even people who were not our coaches, people not from our side, saying wonderful. That was a good jump. And we're mightily impressed. Let's listen to the young lad, Alaire Peterside, talking about it and telling us how she came about participating in that event and eventually becoming the champ.
It was a really fun experience. I didn't really think I would go that far. I didn't expect my height to go that high. I thought it would stop around 1.4, but when I got to 1.5, I was really feeling the jumping.
And then you did 1.57. What was your motivation?
More of the thought of going further. Thought of wanting to move further in my training just kept me going.
And were you disappointed you couldn't jump the 1.60?
Very. I thought I could jump it. But then I didn't end up jumping it, but putting some training into that.
All right, that's it. She was up against herself. Wanted to go 1.60.
Didn't pan out for her, but it's good to hear her say at the end all she has to do is now, okay, I'm discouraged, but I'm going to go back and put in some more training. And it's good to have that mentality already at this stage. Because if you want to be a champion, if you want to go on and become a top high jumper, you need to have that kind of mentality. So she's going to go back to training, and hopefully next time we're hearing about Alaire Pitteside, she scaled 1.60, and very impressive execution of the Forsbury flop. That's a technique we use in high jump these days. I thought she executed very well, and for that level, it is mightily impressive. Take about Alaire Pitteside, your high jump girls champion in the second edition of the Channels on the 17 Track and Field Classics. Let's go over to the guys now, where our champion Onyekachi Victor was very impressive as well. So we've seen pictures from the high jump final. That wasn't a good jump. Obviously, it's going to have to try. It's going to have to try again. And that's the guy that ended up being the champion, Onyekachi Victor. There you go. Didn't pan out well for him as well.
Yeah, it happens. Sometimes you leap a particular height, then you try again. It doesn't quite work for you. But he did enough to win gold, and the potentials.
That's the second. He went again. Another stab at it, and finally.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, well executed.
Sometimes, like I said, it takes a couple of attempts.
Exactly.
Before you finally.
And look at the celebrations at the end with other competitors. They were very happy for him.
And that's one of the things I like about this competition.
Oh, look at that.
It was the fact. I mean, you had people who were just fans, athletics fans, who were giving the kids hugs, and I love the competitive spirit. There was no bad blood. There was nobody complaining about anybody and all that. And that's what sports should be. And I'm very happy that we're seeing all of this.
All right, then let's take Austin also caught up with Victor Onyekachi, and he had this to say about his performance in the second edition of the Track and Field Classics.
You're super excited. High jump boys winner. How did you do it?
It's all by God's grace and the support of my other schoolmates and my coach also. He also boosted my morale also to go for more. And my parents also, they always prayed for me. I prayed for myself. We prayed with our schoolmates and constant training. At first, when I was in primary school, I was not really tall. So I always wanted to go for more. I wanted to go for good and more. But my friends discouraged me. They told me I can't do it. When I was in junior school, they told me that I was not given the opportunity at all. But as I went on to senior school, I always disturbed our coach. I disturbed him always to come, that he should allow me, that I should try it. So from SS1, my coach picked interest in me and went on constant training. And this is my first time here, and I'm so happy winning it.
Yeah, taking no for an answer. It was a no for an answer for this guy, despite all the discouragements, all the jibes from his friends as well, too. Like, dude, man, give it up.
And that's what...
He said no.
Jibes from friends, family, and colleagues hurt more, and they have more devastating effect. But for a young lad to come back from all of that, and still disturb the coach, and the coach had to, okay, let's go and try. What a story! What a story!
That says a lot about his character, Victor Onyekachi of Command Day Secondary School. Was the guy to beat in the high jump event. In the first edition of this Track and Field Classics, we noticed a lot of students, athletes came to this competition, and they were running, not properly kitted. And it's so important in sports. If you're not properly kitted, you can easily get injured. So for the second edition, Channels, organizers, Channels Television decided to, donate spikes as well as running vests for all the students, for
the public schools. For the public schools. And it was good to, just to inculcate in them that culture. I mean, Austin talked about it yesterday. Some of these guys would rather take off their shoes and run with their bare leg because that's what they're used to.
Yeah, but it's not right.
It's not good. It's not right. And so you have to get used. And the difference between us and Europeans and people on the other side of the world is that the things the kids get used to by age 5, we're learning it by 15.
Exactly.
So the gap is already there. But if a 15-year-old is already used to the running shoes, the equipment...
I mean, you can see the spikes there. Well, really good running shoes for
firm grip, light on the leg, and it helps you do whatever you want to do. And obviously, this kid's very, very happy. Singing the praises of the organizers.
Of course, especially after they've had to run barefooted in the first edition. So we need to go on our first break, though. But when we come back, we'll continue our review of the second edition of the Channels Under 17 Track and Field Classics. Stay with us.